Advisory. Some episodes of the 1836 podcast are not intended for all audiences due to details that might be considered disturbing. Listener and viewer discretion is advised.
On this episode of the 1836 podcast, we share the story of the Mysterious Arkansas Airship of 1897. The night sky has always been mysterious. Strange flying objects have been sighted for years. But what if I told you there are documented sightings in Arkansas as early as 1897, well before the first known powered flight of man? On the evening of April 17, 1897, in Texarkana, children playing outside observed what they described as an airship, appearing as a huge ball of fire traveling with fearful velocity. They quickly reported this to their father, J.F. Floyd, who then shared the account with the Daily Texarkanian. Floyd could only describe the object as a rapidly moving ball of fire, unable to provide further details, marking the beginning of such sightings in Arkansas. 3 days later, Jim Hooten, an Iron Mountain Railroad conductor, was in Texarkana to pick up a locomotive for Little Rock. With time to spare, he went hunting near Homan, a small township in Miller County. While moving through the brush, he was surprised to hear a noise that reminded him of a locomotive air pump. Following the sound, Hooten came across some sort of unknown apparatus in a field. He approached and saw a man wearing smoke-colored glasses with other crew members emerging from the object. Initiating contact, Hooten asked, "Is this the airship?" To which the man replied affirmatively, "Yes, sir." As the conversation continued, Hooten remarked on the noise, saying, "I beg your pardon, sir. The noise sounds a good deal like a Westinghouse air brake." The man responded, "Perhaps it does. We are using compressed air in airplanes, but you will know more later on." After this exchange, a crew member informed the pilot that they were ready to depart, and the airship soon took off. Hooten, having had this first-hand encounter, sketched the airship in for the Arkansas Gazette, where his account was published on April 22, 1897. A few weeks later, on the evening of May 7, 1897, in the Ouachita Mountains near Hot Springs, Arkansas, one of the most credible UFO sightings in U.S. history took place. On a rainy night, Constable John J. Sumter, Jr. and Deputy Sheriff John McLemore were on horseback, investigating cattle rustling near Jesseville, when they witnessed something extraordinary. As they crossed Blue Ouachita Mountain, they noticed a bright light in the sky that disappeared behind the hills. When it reappeared closer to the ground, their curiosity overcame their horses' reluctance, leading them to investigate further. Dismounting and drawing their weapons for caution, they approached the light, revealing a 60-foot-long cigar-shaped vessel. Men were around it, with one filling a sack with water from a creek. A bearded man approached with a lantern and invited the lawmen for a ride, suggesting they go somewhere dry, but Sumter and McLemore declined, saying they'd prefer to get wet. Before leaving, the man then mentioned going to Nashville, Tennessee. After the encounter, both lawmen gave sworn affidavits which were published in the Hot Springs Sentinel and the Daily Arkansas Gazette on May 9, 1897, describing the pilot as tall with a long black beard. The precise location of this encounter is unknown, but it is now part of the Ouachita National Forest, visible from scenic Highway 7. Around this same time frame, the Malvern Times-Journal humorously reported local bar patrons witnessing the airship, describing its passage with exaggerated flair, mentioning how the airship's majestic wings caused a breeze that cooled their brows as they left the White Elephant Saloon. The airship sightings were so notable that they even grabbed the attention of the Arkansas General Assembly. While discussing matters related to the Arkansas Railroad Commission, they realized these airships might be transporting goods without paying taxes. As a result, the Arkansas Senate passed a resolution stating that these airships should pay taxes on any freight they were carrying. These events were happening during a time when people were getting more curious about flight after some important steps had already been taken. On November 21, 1783, in Paris, France, the Montgolfier brothers, Joseph Michel and Jacques Etienne, marked a historic moment with the first untethered manned hot air balloon flight. Pilots Jean-François Pilato de Rosier and François Laurent Darlan took to the skies, flying for about 25 minutes and covering over 5 miles. Shortly thereafter, on December 1, 1783, also in Paris, Jacques Charles, along with the Robert brothers, Anne-Jean and Nicolas Louis, took another leap forward by launching the first manned flight in a hydrogen-filled balloon. Charles and Nicolas Louis Robert ascended to an impressive height of about 3,000 feet, staying up in the air for more than 2 hours. The Wright brothers' achievement in 1903 marked another pivotal moment in aviation history. On December 17, 1903, at Kitty Hawk, North Carolina, Orville and Wilbur Wright conducted the first powered, controlled, and sustained flight of a heavier-than-air aircraft. Orville piloted the initial flight, which lasted for 12 seconds and covered 120 feet. That same day, Wilbur took to the air 4 more times, with the longest of these flights enduring for 59 seconds and covering a distance of 852 feet. The airship sightings spread, making people curious and leading to lots of guesses. Not everyone who saw these things was drunk or making up stories. Many gave detailed reports that couldn't be ignored. Some might have been looking for fame or just caught up in the moment. Newspapers talked about an airship made by Professor Bayard, meant to be shown at a science fair in Nashville, Tennessee. This was before the Wright brothers flew, but inventors were already playing with ideas of flight, though no one could stay in the air for long. Bayard's airship might explain why some people said they talked to the pilots, making these sightings seem more believable. What stands out about these sightings is that they weren't linked to aliens. Instead, newspapers often described the airship as an impressive human-made creation, perhaps by someone like Thomas Edison. Adding local color to this narrative, in Arkansas, Joel T. Rice of Royal was also dabbling in lighter-than-air flight. Despite advice from his patent attorney in October 1897 that flying machines were not patentable, Rice went on to secure a patent for his airship design in 1909. His Arkansas Traveler was a substantial prototype, a steel-framed dirigible with a cigar-shaped balloon filled with homemade hydrogen gas, prepared for flight trials by the time the patent was granted. Whether this was related to the sighting or if the machine was ever built remains unknown. As the stories of airships in the sky spread, the sightings grew more elaborate. A story from Aurora, Texas described an airship crashing on a farm, killing the pilot. The Dallas Morning News claimed that, despite being burned, enough remained of the pilot to show he was not from this planet. It said that this pilot is buried in an unmarked grave on that farm. However, this claim is controversial, especially since airship sightings didn't stop after the supposed crash. The widespread media attention likely created a frenzy where even ordinary sky events, like shooting stars, were exaggerated into the great airship mystery. This fascination with UFOs has persisted for over a century, potentially marking one of the earliest instances of mass hysteria over mysterious aerial objects. The 1897 airship sightings weave a complex web of mysteries. Were these sightings of extraterrestrial origin secret government experiments with advanced technology, or the result of visionary engineers pushing the boundaries of flight? Perhaps the cryptic remarks from alleged pilots about future revelations hint at time travel. Alternatively, could they merely be part of an extensive hoax? These airships reportedly demonstrated capabilities far beyond what was technologically possible at the time. The interest in airship patents, like those filed by Joel T. Rice, suggests that some form of real experimentation might have been occurring. The involvement of individuals like Professor Bayard prompts speculation about whether these sightings were directly linked to their work or merely coincidental. If these were indeed groundbreaking inventions, why did no one step forward to claim credit? The credibility of witnesses such as conductor Jim Hooton and law enforcement officers Sumter and Macklemore lends some weight due to their professional standing, but the lack of physical evidence, like debris or photographs, only adds to the mystery. The Arkansas General Assembly's decision to propose taxing these airships implies that some officials believed in their actual existence. The mystery of the 1897 Arkansas airship sightings shows our fascination with the unknown. Without a definitive resolution, these events remain an unsolved enigma in Arkansas folklore.